It's me, y'all. It's me, y'all. It's me, y'all. It's me, y'all. What up, dog? Thank you for tuning in. About to kick some spoken word. I'll give y'all a couple poems or two. Just kick it, talk a little gang. Bear with me for 1 second. Just gonna give y'all a little bit of something. I felt like coming in and talking to my peoples. I said, man, let me go on and kick a couple of poems and talk that, talk that rap talk. I want to thank everybody that been tuning in and riding with me on my journey. Yes, it is a journey, but it's something I definitely believe in and definitely not gonna give up. It takes time to grow a fan base. It takes time to become cool for other people to tell people about your stuff, and it's just a lot that comes with this, especially when you're starting something from the ground up. I mean, it takes a lot. That's a lot of people out there doing too. I'm definitely further than some, but that's one thing you have to do too is stay focused, lock in, and not compare. And I definitely noticed that get me much further when I'm just locked in and channel in. And I've definitely been locked in. And that's what you gotta do. You gotta do with your goals and do with your plan. You gotta be locked in. You gotta be locked in to a point to where certain things you ain't even just paying attention to or even seeing because you just that channeled in and locked in. It's kind of like when you're in the gym, when you're on the treadmill or whatever machine or device you on, especially if you went there for the right reasons. You kind of lock in a little bit because you working on self. You taking your steps, you walking, you running, or you pulling, or like I said, whatever the exercise is. And if you stare and veer off to the left or the right, you can lose focus on what you doing and what you got going on, and you know you got to stay focused. so, so at the course of time when you're doing whatever you're doing, and there's people over here and people over there that's probably even in your realm of doing the same thing that you do. Don't compare yourself. Just keep working. Your time will come. That's why I've been trying to tell you all the time to enjoy the journey and understand you're here for a reason. Understand that your grind is your grind. Your time gonna be your time. And that's definitely what I tell myself all the time. Cause your man been praying and working for it. And it's definitely coming to fruition. Slowly but surely. That's why these moments here you have to just enjoy them. The little small knit that tune in and rock out right now, when it's in its grassroots like this, I appreciate you. I really do. So feel free to cash at me. Hit me up. I'll put that in the comments or the description. You can donate. That's one thing too. You gotta understand. It's all right to monetize whatever you do. Cause shit, it's a whole world out here. Shit, everybody ain't broke. Everybody is not broke. It's a whole world. A lot of people got money. A lot of people donate to all the bullshit. Y'all donate to all the. I ain't gonna say y'all because I feel like I got a mature audience. But a lot of people donate to a lot of gossip and a lot of shows, a lot of nonsense, and a lot of negativity. People that ain't even offering nothing, no type of substance. getting, getting, getting thousands and millions of views a month. Living swell. Steady perpetuate nonsense and negativity though. They ain't nothing but the news of just bad news and media. They number TMZ for the streets. A lot of bickering and gossiping, grown ass men and women just on that nonsense. But over here, when you're giving off that energy of trying to be positive or motivation, it's a slow roll. Well, it can be a slow roll. It ain't always got to be a slow roll. But it definitely take word of mouth and it take word being spread. I mean, let's just look what positivity is up against. Look what we up against. Look at the numbers. I mean, do you want information? Do you want the entertainment? Do you want the knowledge? Not saying I got it all or not saying I know everything. But I just come on here and just be myself, talk my shit. I'm a silly guy too. I'm a fun guy. I mean, I got a lot of different facets to a personality. It all come out and sneak out sometimes during the course of these shows. We watch a lot of these videos. I mean, you have to be authentic. I mean, that's what people are going to love about you or us as content creators. And especially early in the game like this, I can really be all over the place. But I stick to what's me. And of course, I understand. I'm not gonna say I understand, but for the people that there are subscribers, you might have seen the notification today about, I do have a Patreon page with poetry on it. It's adult poetry for the people that's into that. I mean, it's something I do. I talk that shit. So for the people that's into that, come on over to Patreon and check out some of the entertainment. Check out some of the adult poetry, erotic poetry, if you will. It's all audio. I mean, we ain't discriminating. You into it, pull up, take a listen. I mean, it's still all in the realm of poetry. I talk that shit. I definitely still had the motivation, the inspiration, the hip hop, and the adult poetry. It's part of me also. And that's why I come into this title today. I just said I wanted to just use the title of Stay in Your Lane. Stay in your lane. And that's one thing too. Although you stand in your lane, don't let the world just hold you in a box to where you can't just blossom and bloom and reach your full potential being yourself. Because we can't judge. I mean, this shit is basically a disclaimer, especially if you're new to the channel. And I'm telling what you might get over here. And I'm telling what you might see or think of the style of the channel years from now. As I steady just hit different subjects Entertainment is entertainment. So that's why I wanted to just express myself through the entertainment. Y'all have to understand, as artists, and only artists can relate to some of these couple things I'm about to say to y'all. It's like only artists can relate to. And definitely stay tuned. I'm gonna get into a couple of poems. I definitely got a spoken word for y'all tonight. But as an artist, as a creator, here's the thing. Our minds work different from the average person. It's like as a creator, you can dig into an emotion and create. You can stay there if you want. You can dance around it. You can jump into another emotion. I mean, you gotta remember and realize at the end of the day, we're creating something that's for your entertainment. I mean, think about all these rappers and musicians and people that play instruments, all of this. I mean, it's all the same. It's just everybody do something different. Even if a person play drums, he's not saying the word or she's not saying the word at all. But the talent that's attached to it, for when they do play the drums, or when they get into their zone, or play them slow, or play them fast, or get fancy with it, may even spin the stick around or anything. You know how Sheila E used to just hit that shit and just throw it up in the air, catch it, get back to it. All those things are within the talent of and the emotion of wanting to do something different or want to stand out and jumping in the element of having that much confidence in what you're doing. So I'm saying all this to say, as artists, don't judge on the surface. Don't judge. I mean, I don't know what it is. It just seems like some people just hold words just so close when it's certain things. You know, don't get me wrong. I understand if somebody says something, you can think to yourself like, yeah, they mean that. I mean, let's think about it. On the flat surface, you can just do that and say that. You can be like, okay, they mean that. They said that. That's how they feel. I mean, that's what you're going to do. But as artists, we know that when we create these things, we saying them, but we still saying them for your entertainment. But we still have to create it through an emotion that we locked into at that very moment. So it's like, just because I make a Save the World poem, that don't mean that I love everybody. And it shouldn't have to be a contradiction of the two. Or if Tupac makes Brenda's Got a Baby, that don't mean you still can't respect I Get Around. I mean, let's think how much we gave Tupac a pass because we was locked into the whole character and emotions of the person. But let's just dig even deeper. As artists, you can do that. When you be in that moment. When Denzel is this character, he's that character for that moment. When Al Pacino is that character, he's that character. And even though some people love their craft so much, you done heard it multiple times of certain actors locking in too much to their character. That's how much passion one can have for their craft. You see how hand in hand this go. It's like you didn't heard about it. You didn't heard about somebody playing the role of a certain person, and they surround themselves with so many people of that nature, of that character, that they research it for months and don't cut their hair or want to wear bummy clothes just to get in the full character or whatever of a crackhead, etc., or a prostitute or whatever the scene or character may cause for. You didn't heard about these things happening. So as artists, again, as artists, you can hold on to the words, but just don't hold on too much. I mean, we want respect for what we do, but let us be. Let an artist be. Let a content creator be. I mean, if a person has got the effort to put out what they putting out, let them be. I mean, initially on the surface, let that person be. Understand that's that moment when they created that piece of art. Like this art on my wall, this piece right here, this painting. It was painted probably with the broadest strokes or whatever they had in mind when they created it. That's what they was on. You can't just, and that's the beauty of art. In hindsight, everybody's going to see it their way. We got artists getting locked up for lyrics. We got kids. I mean, they're not kids, but they really, really young adults. I mean, they basically is kids. Let's cut the bullshit. They mentally, and we all know young men mature later. How do you say after women? Like women mature faster than young men. I mean, we know what young men are usually on in their late teens and early 20s. I mean, you're not even really like developed in the mind to, you might take on some certain different responsibilities because you may be faced with some things, some type of adversity to make you grow up a little bit faster, especially in the hood. Some things may come across your path to make you feel a little bit more mature. And you're taking on those responsibilities, but mentally, they still young. They still just want to have fun. They still moving fast. And at the end of the day, you have to stay in your lane. I mean, can we do that? I mean, can we get to the point to where people get respected for staying in their lane? Do you really have to be gangster? Matter of fact, I'm gonna get into this poem in a minute too. Why they forcing you to be hard? Speaking of staying in your lane. I mean, let's talk about it. Do you really have to put yourself out here like that? I mean, what's the greater good in just trying to move around, especially in this space of entertainment? I mean, we see it time and time again. We want the toughest story. We want the toughest people. You want to hear us all come from the hardest background. You want to see all the dirt. You want to see all the evil. You just want to ball it up and just keep recycling it over and over again. All the bullshit. All the bullshit that you making it to try to escape. You keep wanting to dance back up in it and keep bringing it to the now. I mean, why do artists do that? Why do hip hop force you to do that? Why do TV always got you living in the past? I talked about that in one of my poems too. I can't remember which one. This is one of my videos. I'm gonna have to find that piece And I basically was saying like, like why do all these TV shows gotta live in the past? Why we gotta relive all these different dramas of the '80s? I mean, it's like so safe for all these people just to look at it because they weren't there, you know. I mean, I get it. Let's just face it. I mean, us hip hop babies and people of the hood and people of the inner city, we just fascinated with the street shit. We fascinated with the hood. We fascinated with making out the hood. We fascinated with just all the bullshit that come with it. I mean, but for how long? So that shit hit home. That's all it be. When that shit hit home, you want all the shit to stop. That's how we been in the hood. All the bullshit can go on elsewhere, or people you semi care about, you can hear about it. It go through one ear and not the other, but when that shit hit home, that's when it's time to stop the killing and stop the all the madness of the streets. That's when it's time to buckle up and slow down. And most of the time, that shit only lasts temporary. Because we be right back at the bullshit after a couple of weeks that went by and everything back to normal. Funeral over with all the chicken gone, all the chicken and spaghetti gone. Niggas is back to being niggas again. But I ain't trying to preach at y'all. I'm just spitting that real. You can agree, you can disagree. And trust me, you already know it's a whole lot of channels and other YouTubes and other people you can watch if you want. If you want the gossip, you want the shenanigans, you want the arguing, you want the back and forth, you want the whatever you're looking for, of course it's on here. And our goal over here ain't to stay underground. It ain't to stay low. The goal of poetry is not to stay low. The goal of the spoken word and getting this message out is not to stay low. That's not the goal, or that's not the motive why I do this shit. You know what I'm saying? We do want to touch the people. We do want to monetize. I tell you all this shit. I'm telling you, it's real. But we do want to monetize. We do want to touch the masses. We do want to touch more people. You touch more people, you can help more people in more ways than one. And it's kind of like when Pac said that one little line, he might not change the world, he might spark the brain that do change the world. You never know the information that you give to somebody else could help somebody along their day or during their time. And if you notice, we steady like quote the real. If you notice that, we don't quote the real. The real get quoted. All the bullshit is so temporary. I mean, let's just face it. All the bullshit that we talk about, look how quick we forget it. You never noticed that? How quick we forget the bullshit. We know what's gonna stick. That's why I try to. I ain't gonna say try. That's why I keep it meaningful when we have these lives or the spoken words. I mean, even the titles. I mean, research that shit years from now. My kids might be the ones eating off this shit. We're gonna be the ones eating off this shit. They might eat off of it more than I do. At a time as it get recycled and cycled, or people sample it or come back to it and research it years from now. Oh yeah. Shit, my son and daughters getting all the passcodes. And daddy got a whole catalog of poems and poetry over there. That's yours. That's legacy. You have to believe in yourself. You have to believe in what you do. That's staying in your lane. That's why I want to title this live tonight, to stand in your lane. That's powerful. Let me get into a poem of peace. This piece is called Why Is They Forcing You to Be Hard? Listen to me. What's up with all this tough talk and selling fake images? So you was supposed to be a player in the game, but you on the sideline looking like you don't even know what a scrimmage is. You see, it's similar to practice. Like when you practice dodging real substance in your music and interviews. See, let's talk about the change and the growth. Cause see, I ain't influenced about them jail cells you done been into, or what you finna do. Or though I'm only gonna respect you for the last thing that you did. Cause see, I'm on my grown man now. Half the stuff y'all talking about, shit, nigga, we done dead as kids. Nigga, and it stayed there. Fool, I got bills to pay. Kids to raise, and the message saying y'all fake ass tough guys is in my way. Shooting in crowds, talking loud just to get a little bit of attention. You see, it's some locked up forever off just one mistake that ain't never coming home, and you can be next, but you don't even think about the prevention. See, the invention of these ghettos and projects is a project. And now TV got you scared to go outside, and to our kids, we passing down this nonsense. Dumbing down our views to confuse our angle and focus. Seeing the white community is white on white crime, but they just want you to hate your own people. See, take a look around, haven't you noticed? Cause see, I'm just like you, my brother. So when you see me put down your guard, love yourself and I love you too. Now ask yourself the question. Why is they forcing you to be hard? Why is they forcing you to be hard? Raptalk. That's that poem of peace. Snap, 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 snap. Hope y'all appreciate that piece. That was a piece I wrote just thinking about life and just thinking about like what I was just saying, all the stuff I was just saying a little bit before I got into the piece. I was talking about how it just forced you to be hard. They forced you to tell that story. They forcing you to make sure they got some trauma or some dirt on you. That's what they want to put out there. You ever notice? You ever notice? Like in every biopic, is that the word? Biopic, biop. What they call it when they do a movie about a person? Biopic, right? That's it. Yeah, biop. It's like it should be said biopic. Bi. Anyway, you ever notice every time they do a movie about somebody or TV show about an artist or an actor or whatever, whoever it may be, you ever notice how deep they dig for the bullshit? You ever notice how deep they dig to find a story that's some negative? It's always something with drugs. It's always some sexual. It's always some type of abuse. You ever notice how that always make just about every movie, no matter who the person is or how much good or how much deed they did, or what they call it infidelity. You ever notice there's always some it's always some with that little spice and what the little what is it, the little sauce, the little spiciness to the shit. You ever notice it's always the bullshit somewhere in the mix? I mean, should that really sell the story? Should that really be in every film or documentary or book, whatever? I remember I remember it used to be this show, and it actually wasn't a bad show. I remember it used to be a show called Behind the Music. Was it VH1 or MTV? I think it was VH1. It was VH1. It was a show called Behind the Music. Oh yeah, if you think about it full circle, I guess that's what's the other one that came a little bit after? It's basically the same thing. BT had their version of it. It basically was Behind the Music too, but unsung. But I guess unsung kind of had a different meaning to a certain extent. Unsung was kind of more like people who supposed to have their just due to make it, but didn't really make it to how they really should have made it. But there used to be this show called Behind the Music. And I noticed on this show, it's like no matter what the artist been through or how height of a success they had going on, they had going on, they would always find the bullshit. I mean, it never fails every episode. I mean, sometimes I was even watching episodes and I'm looking like, damn, where they find that at? Or it'd just be somebody, they'd be interviewing a childhood friend or somebody that, I mean, of course, we never heard of, but they'll just go find and research somebody who can just bring some dirt to the table. And most of the time, also, it'll always be in a little commercial, what they call an ad for the show. They're gonna promote the bullshit before they even run the show, just to let you know, like, okay, well, on this episode with such and such, they tune up the music, rev up the beat, all this shit. It's just how you just tuned in to the drama, just off top, like, oh, we got some bullshit coming. So that's why I came with that poem from the whole perspective, like, why is they forcing you to be hard? I mean, why is every artist faced with that whole tenacity that they have to just put out something with an edge just off top? I mean, you can't even just come into the game as far as like, okay, I'm me, accept me for me. It is what it is. It's like we have to be attached to the story of the person before we even attach to the art that they do, whether it be music, acting, whatever. That's why we had these things like Instagram and all that stuff. But they showing you what they want to show you already. They giving off an image that they want to put out there. But even back then, as far as like when we came up, they had things like a magazine or poster. A lot of people we didn't hear them talk as much. We didn't know their opinions. They couldn't voice their opinions except through their art. That was it. I mean, actually, we look at a person and look at a picture. Like, say for instance, inside of a magazine, we have to imagine by the way that they pose or what clothes they have on, like what they're about. That's how we was consuming people. All we have is the music. But when we saw them in a picture or something like that, that's when we thought to ourselves, like, okay, that's when you get to judge it. Let me get to another piece though. Matter of fact, I'm gonna get into this one. Since they want to be so hard, since they force you to be hard, I got another message for you. You know the streets don't love nobody. I don't know if you've been told this, but the streets don't love nobody. And we seeing it time and time again. Listen to me. These streets don't love nobody. Why you think they always repeating that it's lonely at the top? Nigga, the feds is coming, the bitches is running, these little niggas on the block want your spot. That drunk conversational intimate info with that hoe can turn state's evidence. Voice recording, hood extortion. Now let's see how much money you trying to spend. You see, some ain't built for this. Thought it was easy. Caught a case and find out that it's hard. Playing mind games with vets and you a rookie, nigga, you could have been better off just getting a job. Shit, you put in the same hours. Second and third shift, taking a life risk with no benefits. Doing things you never did before, treated like a hoe and thinking the streets don't know you a snitch. Nigga, stop that shit. And in the end, your friends gonna rob you probably. You see, all these hood stories are the same. These streets don't love nobody. These streets don't love nobody. Raptalk. Snap, 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 snap. Yeah, that's that poem of peace. Streets don't love nobody. That's a well-known fact there. I hope y'all enjoyed that piece. I'm gonna get into a couple of more. Let me see what I'm gonna get into. Definitely take the message with you. I'm gonna get into this one piece I wrote. It's actually come from the book here. It's gonna be a link in the description or either in the top of the comments. You can purchase this. It'll download it directly to your phone. I think I'm gonna do a piece out of here. Let me see which one I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do this piece called Stay Calm. I think the world needs that sometimes. Sometimes you just gotta relax. I mean, it's like you could be living in the world with so much going on and so much just moving by you daily. I mean, the average day-to-day bustle and hustle. I mean, just calm down. Listen to me. The pressure is tense. My palms are condensed. Stay calm. I realize my moment was meant. I feel something coming. I gotta stay strong. Stay calm. But I wonder why it takes so long. I wrote my plan. I took my steps. Stay calm. It wasn't supposed to happen just yet. The hustlers hustle. The dealers ball. Stay calm. I was told quick rise, quick fall. My lifespan's subtracting, but my words are in action. Stay calm. I feel like I'm about to divide this fraction. You see, it's all inside, and God want me to do it. My talent's premeditated, and he want me to use it. He said, stay calm. Stay calm. That's that piece. Snap, 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 snap. All around the world. I can't do that bullshit they used to do on Living Color. When we were like too twisted and twirled and all that. Nah, we ain't doing all that over here. It is what it is. Damon Wayans. What's that, Keenan? Who's that, Damon or Keenan? No, that was Damon. Because Keenan was the one that created this show. And Living Color, I can't even say it was before its time. But it definitely was something to see, especially if you was in that era and grew up around that time. I mean, the sketch comedy period. I mean, you got to think about all the different budgets that people used to push back then that people just cannot do now. Man, this world is just so sensitive. It's so much shit. People just walk a thin line. I mean, like you say, walking on eggshells, just trying to create. And so many people trying to please so many different ears, or not offend this group, not offend these people over here. And man, this shit crazy. Like you say, well, like I said in a couple of my other videos back, it's like shit. I mean, it's like spoken word. Like we one of the last voices. I mean, you look what they doing to the comedians. Look what they doing to the rappers. I mean, we like one of the last voices that can still probably talk that shit, and they still want to keep us down here so bad. But we here to change all that. It's only gonna be a matter of time, and I'm gonna talk that shit. I'm gonna talk that shit. Like I was telling y'all earlier, I got so many different facets of poetry that I do. That's why I was telling y'all earlier, you can stay in your own lane, but don't hold on to this shit too. Don't hold on to this shit too bad. Art is art. You know what I'm saying? If I'm talking this motivation shit over here, I mean that. If I'm talking this street shit over here, I mean that. If I'm talking the erotic shit, I mean that. But it's still on for your entertainment and your enjoyment. I mean, you have to be locked in when you're doing something, when you're creating. I mean, that's just what artists do. I mean, you can hold on to this shit as much as you want, but when we put it out, I mean, it got to just move the groove to where it's going to go, where it's going to touch, who it's going to touch. And especially in the world like we living in, when everything is just so fast, you got all this different media, YouTube, social media, all this stuff. Once it's out, it's out. But if y'all want the bullshit, like I told you before, there's plenty channels. And when I say bullshit, I don't mean this because I don't like it or consume it. I'm talking about, but if y'all just want the gossiping or whatever, there's plenty channels for all that. So you can go and tap in and tune in. I mean, it's a whole world out here. But we gonna get it done. So just stay in tune with what you're doing too. Let me give y'all a little bit of motivation, since we jumped on the motivation for a minute. But definitely stay calm. But it's gonna take more than that. You gotta put in that work too. You gotta put in that work. And shit gonna come to you if you ain't put in no work. You basically just a sleeper. You just dreaming. Matter of fact, let me get into this piece right here I'm looking at. I'm gonna get into this piece I wrote called Mental Toughness. Matter of fact, I'm gonna read this one straight off the ink. If I mess up or whatever, we're gonna run it on back. Shit, y'all. Listen to me. This is called Mental Toughness. Being mentally tough is an option. You see, it's easy to fold. Some had a path that was clear, but didn't realize until they got old. You ain't built for this. Your daily day come with excuses. And sitting up congregating, drinking about it, fantasizing as time passes, useless. It's the reason you on the sideline. Got opinions and just talking. See, that's the difference. We getting it in, making mistakes and money. You sitting while we walking. The challenge is always mental. You see, you defeated before you even started. Can't stop, won't stop. I don't agree with everything God do, but I see that's the reason how Homeboy charted. Take that, take that. The lines of deception somehow can draw confusion. You keep making progress, but comparing yourself will make you feel like you losing. So prepare yourself, because the grind calls for roughness. Separate yourself, block it out. Now that's mental toughness. Mental toughness. Rap talk. Snap, 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 snap. That's that poem and piece, mental toughness. You gotta have that. I mean, you have to be mentally tough to survive a lot of this shit. You gotta have thick skin, tough skin. You gotta have layers. Opinions is gonna happen. It's gonna be naysayers. It's gonna be. Shout out to Fam Camp Stamp. P Camp in the building, tuned in, 100, 100. Appreciate you, cousin. You got family up here. Man, y'all be sure to go check out his channel too. He definitely on the grind doing this thing. He over there kicking it, giving his point of view, speaking on the current events. And that's one channel I do watch. I go over there when I need that info, when I need to hear what's going on. Camp Stamp be on that shit. So indeed, you definitely, and I like the way he's spinning to always have a positive point of view. So that's the difference. It's the difference when it's a lot of nonsense out here and people just steady perpetuating it and don't try to throw in no type of resolution or make you think about the bullshit that's going on. It's a difference. But when you have a situation and you can put a narrative on it to something positive, maybe we can get somewhere, maybe we can learn something. But there's a lot of people out there who want to just consume just all the bullshit just to feed their ego and feed their mind or feel like they somewhere more in life because they see somebody falling or see somebody in some type of bad space. I mean, it's crazy how sometimes mentally people can just do that. And I mean, I have to track and watch myself sometimes. And like sometimes when I hear bullshit, I can't be like, damn, that's what they get, or such and such, or if they, that's because it's like kind of like a poem I said earlier this week. I had this one piece like, if you knew better, you would do better. But I also had a speech before the poem. Also, I was talking about some people just dwell into the bullshit. They will know better, but they still just keep bumping their head and knocking their head into something that they just comfort with. They call that like trauma bonding. That's kind of like a new word I've been hearing lately, a little term. That shit real though. Some people really like being into trauma and they trauma bonding. You know what bonding means as far as like be with other people that are going through certain things and they like just jail on that level of just going through bullshit. So they just welcome on the bullshit of more and more people. And then, like I said, when you sit around and congregate about the bullshit, I mean, there's no room for positivity to sink in, because if somebody do bring some positivity to the room or whatever, the energy is going to be off because they bonded on this level. You know what I'm saying? They ending up on cigarettes or beer, and bullshit and, whatever. I mean, and we definitely feel for these people that's in situations, especially on some grown shit, grown men and women who's in situations to where they don't know no better and they just like give it up. But when that positivity walk in the room, it probably won't be accepted in the same way. That's kind of like how entertainment is. There's so much trauma bonding going on with through the social media and just through the stories, the headlines. Look at the headlines. It's bullshit over and over just to get you to click on them because they want you to just watch the negative story. But then when somebody come with a positive angle, it's like it's just going up against a wall and it's not gonna stick as far as the bullshit is. It's like you could be up for a case on some bullshit and go to court and everything. The headline is you got arrested for this, and you could be found innocent. that same headline is not going to be up there at the same space or in vein as when you got arrested. I mean, you can come out completely just clean and flawless after the bullshit come clear and come back that you ain't did shit. But when they said you got arrested, that shit was headlined all over the place. You know what I'm saying? It's just sad, man. The way how this shit just ended up, especially when you see the transition. That's why I can speak on it, because some of us actually living through the transition of seeing how all these things can come to plague on people mental to make them do certain things or react a certain way. I mean, this shit is called let's like when we was younger, we all like they just say go watch that program, the TV program. They don't really say it as much. But all these years, they were saying that shit for a reason. It was a program. It was programming your mind. It was like, oh, this program come on, or the program come on at 8 o'clock, the TV show. But the code word for the TV show was a program, even the radio. And it was programmed for a reason. But we're going to get to it, though. We got outlets like this that we can say what we say. And I ain't gonna say we can say what we say. We're gonna say what we say. And we're gonna let them take it for what it is. Because the game is the game. My truth ain't gotta be your truth. Your truth ain't gotta be my truth. My entertainment ain't gotta be your entertainment. On that note, I'm gonna get into this poem I wrote called Live Your Own Truth. That's definitely something we all have to do. I mean, live your own truth. Listen to me. Close your mind to the outside world. Concentrate. You hear that? That's the silence of your soul dancing on top of your intelligence. And you shouldn't fear that. You know who you are. You know your mind and motives. It's time to go the distance. Matter of fact, the extra mile gets your passion notice. Focus. Focus on life. You see, some keep living like time ain't got no limits. Get it out your system. Die empty. Leave a legacy when you finish. Routine, repetition. Pause and pray every day. Doors get closed in your face. Go through the window. Fuck that. Make a way. And we cleaning house. You see, negative souls and hate gotta vacate. Trying to fly amongst people that want to clip your wings ain't gonna help you fly straight. The crash landing. Family not even understanding. Them goals is yours. Fall down, get back up, even if you gotta do some rebranding. Switch up the flow. Yeah, I kick knowledge, but my shit ain't garbage. I'm around the corner down the street, but still make you think outside the box while being an artist. Ain't no age limit on goals. Ain't no page skipping playing roles. Do what you believe, and once you understand who's really in control, pick up the pen, grab the ball. It's time to shoot. The world is waiting. So live your own truth. Live your own truth. Raptalk. It's that form of peace. Snap, 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 snaps. And live your own truth. It's the best advice I could give you. And when you stay in your lane and live your own truth, everything you got is gonna I ain't gonna say everything you got, but everything you get is gonna come and evolve around you. It's gonna all in line with your purpose. That's how this shit play out. When you being yourself, like-minded shit is gonna come your way. It's gonna come across your path. You're gonna pay attention to the stuff that you're attracted to. I mean, even the people, even the conversation. I mean, you ever just walk in a room, or you ever just be in a room, and it could be like about 3 or 4 conversations going on, or like you in an office setting, you at work or somewhere, or even at school, anywhere. And it could be like about 3 or 4 different conversations going on. You might not be in none of them. You might just be the one that walked into the room. You ever just notice that when you just may sit for a minute, but the conversation you do jump in, it was certain words you heard or something that attracted you to that conversation over the others. You ever noticed that it was some type of energy they was on or something they were talking about. It was some type of words that triggered you to make you join that conversation or to be around them couple of people. That was for a reason. That was because they was on something you was on, and that's how life is. That's how you have to live your day by day to be around people that's on what you on, or even the information you take in and absorb, the things you watch and see, be on what you want. And like I say, when people are doing things, you're gonna attract what you put out. If I'm running around doing poetry and talking about I'm doing spoken word, or you seeing these videos coming up daily, weekly, whenever, and when they start clicking in, you sooner or later the people that's seeing that they're gonna align that and approach me about that. I mean, what else? I'm not to say what else can somebody talk about with me, but more than likely, if you meet me on this type of playing field and surface or in this type of space, if you come across in this type of space and you see me out in the street, you're gonna be like, hey, or just say if you just saw somebody walking with a shirt, you'll be like, okay, damn. You be watching dog too that be on Tell It to Sexy. I saw that before. That's the YouTube shit. The dude be doing the poetry. It's all going to incline. You're going to attract what you put out, what you associate yourself with. If you always playing gymnastics and you running around with the outfit on of a, what do you call a gymnastic person? I don't want to say a gymnasium. Of a person that do gymnastics and you carrying yourself, or if you play basketball, you always got a basketball in your hand. People are going to associate with those things. They're going to talk to you about topics about basketball. They're going to you're going to attract not only what you put out, but what you are. And that's even deeper than what you put out if you really think about it. What you are is deeper than what you put out. And that comes back full circle to the living your own truth, basically. And at the end of the day, that's staying in your lane. But I definitely appreciate the ride and the journey. We're gonna ride out. I definitely gotta start doing more lives too. We gotta get this shit percolating. It's too much game. It's too much shit out here. It's too much space. It's too much. And and the things that you want, like I say, when it stay on your mind, you're gonna keep pushing it out there. So whatever you're doing, do more of that shit. Let me say that again. Whatever you doing, I mean that's if it's some good shit, it's positive shit. If you got to be on some bullshit, don't keep doing that. But if you on that good, that positive, and you striving for something, do that shit more and more. Do that shit daily. I mean, as far as this creating this whole content space, I mean, it ain't no limits. Video shooting that way, video shooting that way, video shooting that way, video shooting that way. Don't get me wrong, we definitely want quality over quantity, but you can't have both. And don't overthink that shit. When you're doing something, don't overthink that shit. Work with what you got. Work with what's right there near you, right there at that time. I mean, whatever it is, you want to start a hoodie business, you want to have a clothing line, start with the t-shirts or the stuff that's right there next to you at that very moment. I mean, the closest store that got them wholesale, go get you some of them joints. Whatever. Put your idea on it, press them joints up, do what you gotta do. It's like back in the day when people just press up them CDs and shit. They did that shit as a straight up hustle. Remember, we used to go to Coney Island late as hell. Somebody in there like, got them DVDs. Got them DVDs. We thought the damn DVDs was gonna never go out of style or business. I guess everything gets old. But shit, we on the Coney Island, especially here in Detroit. I mean, it's the whole world out there, but here in Detroit, shit, you go to Coney Island about 2, 3 in the morning. You get you some Coney chili fried, you got you some food, you got that bullshit. It's a dude sitting there right there selling something. I mean, call him Hustle Man. I mean, everybody got something that they do. I mean, just be diligent about what you in. And that goes back to the point I was just saying a minute ago. If I'm seeing this vividly in my mind right now, a man, or a person who was selling the CDs or whatever, just think if I ran into that person right now at this very moment, I'm going to refer back to that person when he was selling the CD. You know, even though I know CDs and DVDs is played out, not really existing as much as streaming and all the, you know, the technology that it came to. But if I saw that exact person, that'd probably be my way of communicating with him, because that was something that he did. That was something he was associated with. That was something he was dedicated his time and life towards. So that's what you have to do with whatever craft that you into, whatever you in. You do hair, do that shit. Whatever it is. Stay in your lane. Put your twist on that shit. Because at the end of the day, that's what's going to stand still as far as when they go the long haul. You want this shit for the long haul. That's what you want. Get this shit for the long haul. I mean, be in it to be in it. All these fucking poems I got up, man, it's gonna be thousands more to come. This ain't shit. I can drop these joints here, there, all over, you know. We'll be saying P-Camp 3 for 10 CDs and DVDs too. That's what's up. Hell yeah, them DVDs, they used to have them. You sell them. Hell yeah, we had to be on them. Not to mention them porn too. It'll always be the DVD. Here go to the back of the little bookcase then. Don't act like we ain't get, like people ain't buy them porn from them too. Because people used to be so ashamed to go to the stores. You know, in the video stores, you have to go into the little back room, the little cut off closed room. That's where you got your porn at. They knew you was a freak. Or they'll call you the P word if they see you just walking straight to the back to the porn section. With the DVD man, so he had them porn. And then when you tell him you want, that's when they go to the back of the book. It's like, oh, I got these. We get that Booty Talk 58. The Booty Talks was something else. Man, they made it to 100 too. Booty Talks was something else. Them Booty Talks and Vivids from West Coast Productions. Oh, man, I told y'all I'm crazy. Well, I ain't gonna say I told y'all I'm crazy. I should say I'm crazy, but I told you I got a sense of humor when I be talking that shit. I told you just because I do poetry, don't be thinking I'm no stiffy up here, but we have fun around here too. Like you say, just put a little medicine in the can and we still have fun. But yeah, do what you do, man. All this shit was just, it was a time. But stay in your lane, though. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. I'll be back with more poetry and more spoken word. Don't forget, never be afraid to dream. Be sure to get your merch. Link gonna be in the description. Either at the top comment. Get you some of this merchandise. Intelligent and sexy. Feel free to donate to the channel if you want to. That's cool too. I'm gonna have that link for the cash. And like I say, y'all donate to all the negative and all the other bullshit. And there's some positivity going on. That's what keep people going too. We gotta let the world know that it's revenue that can be made inside of positivity and inside some thought provoking shit and some, this. I ain't gotta be on no super woke shit, no knowledge, and I ain't gotta wanna act like I'm better than everybody else or none of that. It's all about this ordeal of this creating, just doing some positive shit, man. I mean, it's enough of the negative out there. Donate to the positive shit. That's what push more people to do positive. If these kids, a lot of these youth saw that this revenue could be made in making positive songs and making positive videos, they'll do more of it. But if we steady turning a blind eye and not watching it, or just steady clicking off the shit or don't want to pass it along or share it, I mean, that's why we gonna stay in the space that we in. Because the negativity is gonna sell faster and it's gonna get repeated faster. So that's the space we in right now, but with a little work too, we can get out of it, but it is what it is. And like I say too, we don't want to be on no plane and shit over here. We ain't doing that neither. I don't want to be on this like a grumpy old man on some bullshit. We not doing that. We having fun over here. But still spreading the message. Yeah, the back of that book. P-Cap, you see in the back of that book. Oh, when he go back there, oh, he already know what he on. It is what it is. Man, I feel good, man. I'm gonna get one. I'm one more piece, man. Shit, I mean that's. Matter of fact, that's what I'm gonna start doing is putting in more time, all that shit. That's what we gotta do. But yeah, speaking of moments and staying in your lane, I'm gonna do this piece. Cause I told y'all this before too, which is some real shit. I told y'all everybody get their moment. I told y'all that. You see the correlation with all this shit? Knowing your truth, living your truth, all this shit, your mental toughness. Why is they forcing you to be hard? At the end of the day, everybody gonna get their moment. You keep grinding and you praying for it and working for it, your time gonna come. Listen to me. It's so hard to be patient, knowing your power and potential, facing the world with a mask on and society not knowing what you done been through. I done seen thieves lie, steal, kill, and cheat to eat. I would have bet my last ounce of sperm that the people I looked out for would have been there to do the same for me. But I don't dwell on the past. You see, my blessing gonna be my blessing. I'm out here chasing goals, keeping success to myself, and they trying to worry if I'm stressing. See, I keep them guessing. You see, my next move ain't to prove to these dudes that I'm better. I'm out here weathering a storm, saving souls, being myself, trying to be a trendsetter. A focused man is a dangerous man. Serious enough to be serious. You ain't broke, you just taking care of business. And you supposed to, point blank, period. Be influenced, but don't compare. You see, self-gratification to some is a never-ending high. Attention don't always equal success. Being influenced before you die. See, I don't invest in man, because God plans is beyond my wishes. Pray, work forward, and decline yourself and watch how the outcome switches. Live for it. Dance in it. And act like you want it. And don't be surprised when it happens. Because everybody gonna get their moment. Everybody gonna get their moment. It's that poem of peace. Snap, 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 snaps. I told you, listen to me. Say I don't invest in man. Because God plans is beyond my wishes. Pray, work forward, and decline yourself and watch how the outcome switches. Live for it. Dance in it. And act like you want it. And don't be surprised when it happens. Because everybody gonna get their moment. Everybody gonna get their moment. That's the poems and pieces for the day, for the night. Remember to stay in your lane. I definitely appreciate y'all for tuning in. Like I say, if you're new to watching the channel, definitely be sure to subscribe for more spoken word. If you're into spoken word, a little bit of shit talking here and there, with a little bit of hip hop, a little motivation, little reactions here and there, but it's all inclined with me staying in my lane. That you should do. Stay in your lane. Do what you do. Find your focus, find your grind, and mash on that shit. Do that shit daily. Do that shit constantly. Perfect your craft. Do it over and over. You're not going to be perfect when you first start. You're not going to be able to talk with the same whatever. I can't even think of the damn word I want to say right now. But whatever. Do what you do. Be known for what you do. That's how the world works. It's all going to come and gravitate to you. And that way you can pick and choose the bullshit you want to be bothered with or the real shit you want to be bothered with. But I appreciate y'all for tuning in, man. I'll get with y'all in a minute. Rap talk. Shit load up. Rap talk.